Hello everyone, this is Reggie and welcome back to another video. This video will be a review of the Sony Z9F soundbar. It is just off rip. This is an excellent soundbar, highly recommended. Currently on sale at Best Buy for $8.99. And if you are looking for a soundbar, just to go ahead and get that out of the way. It is a great complement to the Sony X900H or the X950H in general. It is their flagship soundbar. I believe they have another one that's around $14.99 as well. Another soundbar, but this is the one they're actually saying is the go-to to actually get. But I have a really funny story pertaining to this soundbar and how we ended up purchasing this. So this was not the soundbar that we wanted to pair with the X900H. The soundbar we wanted to pair with it was the Sony G700. Now the G700 was supposed to be the soundbar that was right in the middle. What we were looking for was very basic. We were looking for good bass. We were looking for a step up from sound quality from the regular excuse me, for the regular audio that's coming from the television. So we were like, okay, well, let's go ahead and get the sound bar that supports the minimum technology that we're looking for the best price. And Sony made that bar. Well, we thought they did. It was called the like I said, the G700. So the G700, two of the main things we were looking for was good sound quality and Dolby Atmos support. That was paramount from there. That was one of the purposes. That's the reason why we purchased this television. So I definitely wanted to get Dolby Atmos support, regardless of I wouldn't necessarily say the price, but if we were going to spend our money on something, we definitely wanted to make sure that it did have those qualities. Let's just put it like that. So we're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and get the G700. Now, I'm sure the vast majority of you have been into a store like Best Buy, where you go in there and they have all the bars set up. And, you know, we just walked in there and let's go ahead and look for a G700. Now, I should have known something was up in my mind because it was very hard for me to find the G700 sound bars. I was like, where are they? Now, just to make sure, let me run back for a second. When I went to go look at the reviews on the different websites, it was very strange. I had never seen a review. I had never seen this this type of reviewing for a particular item. So essentially, what it was that the soundbar would either get 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, then a random 1 star. Or we get 4 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, and then a regular 1 star. But there was no 3 stars, there was no 2 stars. It was literally either 4 or 5 stars, or it was 1 star. And every single one that was 1 star had nothing to do with shipping, had nothing to do with was something damaged. Nothing at all. Every single review was about the sound quality and how much of a massive disappointment it was. So I was like, okay, wait a minute, something is amok. How can we have so many 5 stars and then all at the same time and all of them are singing its praises, saying it's a great sound bar, but the 1 star reviews are all the exact same complaint? So it was like, okay, we'll go to Best Buy and find out. So we go to Best Buy. Now in Best Buy, they had their 3 major sound bars. They had their entry level one, the 320W, which retails for $279 in general. They had the G700. Like I said, that is the entry level in order to support Dolby Atmos, was at $599. And then they had the Z9F, which was on sale for $899. So we went on ahead and tested them out. They had all of them plugged up to, I believe, an X950H. So we went on ahead and tried them out. The 320W, the entry level, sounded very good. We were like, okay, we were very impressed. But at the same time, we were like, it's a $300 soundbar. It does not have Dolby Atmos support, but we would expect that the sound drivers would be pretty good, for a $300 soundbar. Because if it wasn't, then why would you buy this soundbar over a $99 Insignia soundbar? Just in general, why would you bother doing that when you could just spend a couple $100 less? So we expected it to have good quality sound, and it was very, very, very good. We were like, okay, cool. We even was thinking about, okay, well, what we can do is, you know, if we want to, we can pair it up with our older television in the bedroom, and we can go ahead and put the 320W and put that in there, because only my wife, she watches you know, Food Network on it, so we don't actually watch movies or anything on there. But it's very hard to hear what's coming out of television because it's so teeny, because like I said, it is an older television. We bought it like 6 or 7 years ago, and we just never were really concerned about that until recently. So obviously we skipped that. We went to the G700. The G700 was horrendous. The G700 sounded worse than the 320W. I know that sounds crazy. It wasn't that it was some sort of, oh, I'm listening really, really hard. Let me see if I can hear the highs and the lows. Let me see if Atmos is working properly. No, I mean, just in general, I don't know what happened to the G700. I don't know what was going on with Sony. I don't know if it's a manufacturing defect. I really don't know what is going on. But that G700 soundbar sounded like a $75, $80 entry-level Vizio soundbar for $599. Now, for the subwoofer, there was no problem because the subwoofer is exactly the same across the board. It's just an amazing subwoofer. I'm talking about the actual soundbar. The soundbar was terrible. I was shocked. We were like, whoa, what is going on? So we thought maybe we were mishearing things. You know, maybe it was just something that was off. Because, you know, you're listening to a sample of a movie, or you're listening to a sample of music, and maybe we just caught it at a bad spot because it switched over songs. Because my wife had actually clicked on a different song when she switched over to the soundbar instead of just letting it continue. So we were like, okay, well, let's try this again. So we were like, let's go ahead and go to the top of the line Z9F, and we'll work our way down. So we went to the Z9F, and we went on ahead and played a movie clip. I believe it was the new Ghostbusters. Yeah, it was the new Ghostbusters movie that's coming out with the kids, and it was a lot of, you know, a lot of bass coming in, because, you know, it was a lot of damage, a lot of so what I'm looking for, a lot of build up, you know, because something crazy was gonna happen. So it was like boom, 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 and it just sounded great. The cinema mode was fantastic, and we were like, oh man, this right here, this felt like we were in the movies. It was great. We were like, okay, this makes sense. I can see why someone would purchase this. So we were like, okay. Now we left everything the same, and we just switched over to soundbar instead of switching over to music. We literally just switched to soundbar, continued the same Ghostbusters trailer as it was going, and once again, the sound just dropped completely. Everything became teeny. It was, I mean, like I said, the bass was still there because you couldn't do anything about the bass. It's the same as subwoofer, but everything else, anything that was coming out of the soundbar was trash. And then we went on ahead and went down to the 320W, and the 320W, all of a sudden, poof, it sounded great again. You know, it wasn't as great as the Z9F, but it was vastly superior to the G700. So my recommendation is that if you are looking for something that can seamlessly pair with your television, because it was extremely easy to set up. You literally just plugged it in. We plugged it into ARC. The TV recognized this, said, hey, would you like us to control this? You hit yes, and then I want to say maybe less than a minute. The whole process, less than a minute, it was done, and that was it. It was fantastic. The G700 is a joke. Now, ultimately, we ended up getting the Z9F because we really wanted that Dolby Atmos, and we really wanted that. We were just adamant that we were going to buy all Sony this time. It was something that we just decided over a year ago. We were like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it correctly, because we hate the fact that we have to buy a television, then we'll buy a separate soundbar, which is really good. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, you might buy another brand, or maybe we'll buy speakers. And then what we have to do is that we have to get them to pair with each other perfectly. Sometimes we still had to use a second remote. We just wanted to use the one Sony remote for everything. And man, is it working out brilliantly for us. But like I said, Dolby Atmos was very important to us, so we decided, okay, well, we got to go with the Z9F. I mean, at the time, I was like, okay, well, it's about $300 more than what we came in here to spend. But we're like, well, it's something that we buy. We don't buy, 10 televisions. We don't switch out every 2 years, every single time TV manufacturers claim they have a new feature. If that's the case, we would have a house full of 3D TVs and things like that. What I like to do is I like to look at the technology that is here, the technology that they claim is on the way, and then what the next generation after that is. And if there is not a significant jump from the generation in the future, not the one that's coming within the next 6 months, I'm talking about the one that is coming further down the line. If there isn't a significant jump there, then we will not, we just will not purchase that middle of the road. A great example of that is the fact that the next step up from televisions is micro LED. Now, for 8K televisions, I don't recommend to anyone that they buy a 8K LCD. There's no point in purchasing it because in my opinion, if you're going to buy an 8K television, you should wait until we get televisions that are 10,000 nits. When you get 10,000 nits, then we're talking about 8K. If you're buying an 8K television and it's 3,000 nits and things like that, there's no point. You're still dealing with a 10-bit panel. If you are listening to people yelling about Dolby Vision and things like that, Dolby Vision has support for 12-bit, and things like that. You're not getting 12-bit until you get a 12-bit panel, and no one's making 12-bit panels. So, in my opinion, if you can't access a 12-bit panel, and for me, I love Dolby Vision as it is, because that's what I wanted to enjoy. But I also understand that it does support 12-bit as well. So, with that said, if I'm just getting into that. If you are looking at technology that is in the future, if you're only going to get it piece by piece and you're not actually getting the technology as it is at maximum, then in my opinion, there's no point in upgrading. There's just no point because you're just throwing money down the drain. Because these 8K TVs that are out today, they are not going to be able to compete with a true micro LED television. They're just not going to be able to. There is a middle ground with the TCL mini LED, but that's still LED technology. Now, it looks much better than regular LCD. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it is something to where you can get better quality today, and it's probably going to be the most active technology for the next 5 years. Now, I kind of went off on a tangent a little bit about that, but that's basically our buying process when we purchase things. So that's the reason why we went on ahead and said, okay, well, we'll get this soundbar with Dolby Atmos, and we'll make sure we get the flagship, because even if, by some crazy situation they end up like, hey, micro LED is available in 2 years, which I doubt, and they're like, yeah, you can get a 12-bit panel with 10,000 nits. I don't have to worry about the Atmos side. I don't have to worry about the audio side. From my perspective, I'm just more concerned about this. I would have to just worry about the screen, and that's when I would update. So since we wanted Dolby Atmos, we went on ahead and did that. Went on ahead and purchased the Z9F. If you are someone who's not really concerned about Dolby Atmos, I would just go ahead and get the 320W. That's only if you're trying to pair your devices. Keep in mind, if you have a Samsung TV, then go ahead and get your equivalent Samsung soundbar. LG, the exact same thing. Go ahead and get it. I know that people love Klipsch speakers. I know that people look at their Pioneers and so on and so forth. I know that everyone has their preferences. I get that and I understand that. Just for me and our family, we like Sony. And since we like Sony, this is usually what we roll with. Today. Overall, I just want to give a little, now you know how YouTube is. They got all of these copyrighted, they'll get you with copyright strikes, but luckily we found some free copyright music. So I just kind of wanted to give a little demo of the soundbar. You know, so you can kind of get an idea of the bass. So let me go ahead and play that for a little bit. So yeah, it sounds great. I love this soundbar. I love the wireless subwoofer. Let me go ahead and try to adjust this down so y'all can see that as well. Let me go ahead. So that is the subwoofer down there. It's freaking amazing. It's a wireless subwoofer. Literally plug it in. The moment you plug it in, it's good. So as the last point, it does come with this remote. This is the remote to the Z9F. So what I do love the fact is that for us, we like simplicity in our living room. I am a really huge tech geek in general because of the just all my life, and then I work in that particular industry. But my wife is not, so I needed something that was real simple. And I just love the fact that it has auto detection for the sound. So we usually just leave it on there, whatever we swap on. One thing I will say is that when I am gaming, I do usually have to actually manually hit gaming in order to do that. Because if you try to game and let's say it was automatically switched over to cinema after you were watching a movie, and I don't know if this only works, if this only happens on the PlayStation 4 or not, but the sound will actually lag from there. So I had to went on ahead and make sure I got that adjusted. But other than that, we don't use this remote much. Like I said, we usually leave it on auto sound. If I do feel like I want to listen to something different, I will. This soundbar does have Bluetooth, so you can go ahead and shoot Spotify and everything else over to it as well if you like. We don't utilize that either. We just, utilize the apps that are already built into the television if we wanted to. But yeah, those are really the main, go ahead and get that readjusted. There we go. Yeah, those are really the main points of the soundbar. Highly recommend the Z9F as a soundbar. I do not recommend the G700. And like I said, if you are doing, you want something that is cheaper, but it's still very good quality, I would get the 320W. I think it's currently on sale right now at Best Buy for $199. So that was really cool as well. Now, we will purchase items from anywhere, just in general. So, I do go to Best Buy a lot to purchase some of these items because it's literally 5 minutes away from me. But I also do live in a city where we have 2 Amazon warehouses. So we do have an opportunity to get one-day shipping or even same-day shipping on certain items into the house if we want to as well. So it's not necessarily that I just have some preference with Best Buy in general. It's just that's usually where I just get up and go. I can get up and go literally on my way home, so it's not out of my way or anything. If y'all have any questions about the soundbar, please let me know, or any of the other videos in general. If you want any more information, if you would like for me to test certain things, please let me know. I'm going to try to get another video out as soon as I possibly can. I was just trying to decide really what it is to put on the channel. We put a new logo on there as well. Just to kind of get an idea of what y'all may be interested in. So if you are interested in something else, in general, like I said, there really isn't many items that we can't procure to get in here for review in general. I'm sure there's some major limits. Like I'm sure I can't get a $10,000 3D printer in here or something like that. I just don't have the space. But other than that, I'm sure that we could get other things in the review. When the consoles come out, I'm definitely going to review all the consoles. I love video games, so I may do some reviews on some video games as well. And you know, things like that. But I really would like the focus to be on the tech, because I just love tech and I love talking about tech, and I really love explaining. You know, people have a lot of questions. I noticed that a lot of the questions I had, a lot of people have those same questions, but it's kind of hard to find people on the internet who are giving explanations, so people can make better informed decisions when they're purchasing items, because I know that it really helps me a lot. So I just want to make sure I can help as well. But yeah, that'll be it, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Peace.